Hi and welcome to this tutorial. Here I'm going to show you how to use data validation in order to prevent a duplicate entry from being entered into a list. Now if you'd like to get the workbook you see here, go to teachexcel.com and you can download it there. So what I've got here is a simple list, pretty small, of part numbers that I would like to enter right here and the corresponding cost for the part here. Now say for instance someone printed off a sheet from some other source and gave that to you. So you can't copy and paste anything in here. And you have to enter, say, a few hundred part numbers by hand. Well, you want to make sure that you don't accidentally enter the same part number more than once. You want to make sure that you have your database entered correctly the first time. So here we're going to show you how to prevent someone from entering the same part number more than once. This could work for an employee ID number or really any other unique number or identification system. So what we're going to be using for this is data validation, and the shortcut that's going to work in all versions of Excel is Alt-D-L right there. If you're in Excel 2007, simply go to the Data tab and you can click the data validation button right here. Now in order to get this to work, we're going to be entering a custom formula into Excel. And I'm going to show you really quickly how you enter that, or where we enter that, and then actually do it after that. So let's go to the data validation right here. And under where it says allow, you're going to want to select custom from the drop down menu. Now right there you're going to see a box to enter the formula right here. And this is where we're going to enter the custom formula. The problem, however, is if you enter the formula in this window, it doesn't help you to make sure that you're spelling the formula right, the function right, to make sure you don't have any circular references. So basically it's not going to help you at all. You can misspell stuff and do it incorrectly. So what I like to do is to type the formula into Excel, one of these cells over here, first, make sure it works, then copy and paste that into here. It just helps to reduce the number of problems or errors you run into. So I'm going to close this window, and now let's go ahead to create the formula. So I'm going to enter it right here, and it is a COUNTIF function is the first thing. So equals COUNTIF open parentheses. Now what this allows us to do is to count the number of occurrences of something within a range. So basically we can find out if we have more than one occurrence of a part number. The range we're going to be using, it only has two arguments, range and criteria. The range is simply going to be everywhere we're going to enter the part numbers. So this blue section right here. Now once I've selected that, I'm going to hit F4 on the keyboard. That puts these little dollar signs in here and tells Excel not to change this reference, this table reference right here, when the formula is copied into all of the cells. Comma, the criteria, what you want to select here is the very first cell in the table. So A2. You don't need to put any dollar signs, you don't need to hit F4 or anything like that for here, because we want this to change when it copies down. And I'll tell you what that means basically in a second. So close parentheses. Now what this says is we're going to count how many times whatever is in A2 occurs within the data range A2 to A10. So that gives us a number, but we need a logical function. We need it to tell us if it's true or false, basically. So we want to do less than or equals to 1. That's the important part, less than or equal to 1. We want to make sure that there's going to be less than or equal to 1 part number. So basically that prevents the duplicates from being entered. Now what we want to do, because I know that it's spelled correctly, it's referencing the correct ranges and everything. You could test it if you wanted to by entering part numbers over here, but we don't really need to. So I'm going to highlight this, hit Control X on my keyboard to cut that, then hit Escape to get out of the cell. Now what you want to do is select the entire range to which you would like to apply data validation. Then go to the data validation window. This time I'm going to use a shortcut Alt-DL. Under Allow, click the drop down menu, go to Custom, and in the formula bar simply paste the formula that we just cut, so equals COUNTIF and everything else right there. Hit OK, and we're done. So let's go ahead and test this out. Now, what this did actually when I selected the entire range was it applied data validation to every one of these cells, and it incremented only the cells with relative cell references. So you'll notice if I go here, click here, go to Alt-DL, we will see the exact same formula. The range is A2 to A10, and the criteria is A2. But if I select this cell, the range is A2 to A10 like the other one, the criteria is A3. So because we did not put dollar signs on the criteria, A2, A3, etc., this updated for every one of the cells going down. Now if we enter some part numbers, we can see we can enter all of those numbers. We can enter letters, anything. Now if we accidentally enter the same one twice, we get the error message. The value you entered is not valid. Great. So now we know that we cannot enter duplicates no matter what. And there we've created a list to which we cannot enter any duplicates. Now this error message is not very helpful. And if you'd like to, you can create a custom error message that tells the user exactly what they did wrong. You entered the same part number more than once. Please go back and check this, or whatever. But if you'd like to do that, check out the Data Validation 8 tutorial, I believe it is. That shows you how to do the custom error messages. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial. And if you'd like to get the workbook that you see here, go to teachexcel.com and you can download it there.